Good morning, everyone. It's Joker, and today we are back with another slime video. And the next meta has released the Festive Memories Christmas meta, featuring the brand new Protector Albus and Momiji. So we have a couple different things to talk about. First off, this is a Super Isekai Revelry banner, so it's a 6% rate up instead of 5. We all know that rate up is a lie though, so whether or not you take that into account is a different thing. Also, I know a lot of people are going to ask, the event shop does not have the tickets that you would normally get for the banner. It's got the flip card tickets, and it's got this, and it's got the enhancements, it's got all this stuff, but you do not have the 2 free multis in this shop. It's actually in the actual flip card event itself. So if we look and we press on this question mark right here, we can see that recruit ticket, sparkling ornaments, Super Isekai Revelry number 1, the 20 tickets are going to be in the flip card event. So you do need to do that and get the tickets from there. It takes longer to do because you have to rely on RNG to get some of the tickets to, get the max amount every time. But do not worry, we still get the 2 free multis for the first banner. It's just not in the traditional location. So now that we've talked about that, let's talk about the banner itself, starting with who actually is on the banner. So we have the new Albus, we have the new Momiji. We'll talk about their kits in a bit. They're a skip. You can skip this banner. I don't foresee this meta being so game-changing that people need to summon, especially coming off the 3rd anniversary where people probably spent most of their currency. And if they're starting to save up for like New Year's or maybe the half anniversaries or maybe this potential, and I want to really slam that home, potential collab. It is not confirmed. It is not guaranteed. It is just speculation that a collab is coming. But in case you want to attempt to save for that if and when it comes, then this is a very, very easy skip. But Momiji and Albus are here alongside Idol Shuna, Ogre's Pride Shuna, Ogre's Pride Soe, Tempest Elite Benimaru, and Tempest Elite Shuna. So actually the lineup of EX characters is not bad. Idol Shuna being a double alt swapper to green, synergy buff, she got a skill fusion, she's decent. Ogre's Pride Shuna is a triple alt swapper to blue. She's a DPS character with a personal magic buff. She also gives everybody weakness strike. She can be useful in certain scenarios. This is a blue team that's fire focused. She's magic, but not really a big deal. So she will probably actually have some value on this new team. And then Soe is a really, really strong... He's probably one of the best pickups for this banner besides the new characters. He's got the unrestricted 2 random orbs to blue convert. He's got a magic attack buff, and then he's got an attack buff for magic allies, and then he's got the synergy power buff, which stacks depending on how many skill points you use. So he is a really strong character. Benimaru is also pretty strong, if not a bit old at this point, because he came out in March. But he's got a special convert to blues, he's got a physical buff and alt resistance down. This new team is physical focused, so he'll have a spot on the team. Shuna is the worst character by far. She's horribly underpowered. She only changes Tempest Elite orbs to blue. She gives a 30% pierce power buff for 3 turns. Like, this in this day and age, like, that's just not cutting it. Very clearly the worst EX character, but at least it has decent EX units on it. Like, I would say that Shuna, Soe, and Benimaru are fairly solid options overall. But Momiji and Albus are the prizes. And are they worth it to summon? No, I do not think they are. So Momiji, being a support alt character, not a DPS, means that she gives extra weakness strike to Festive Memories. Gotta remember, this is a Christmas team. This team only gets buffed once a year. It's not like they're gonna drop some random Christmas units in, like, July, right? So this is the only time we're gonna get more Christmas units. So it's either you have a Christmas team or you don't. And the Christmas meta, like, Festive Memories by itself without these characters is not that big. Like, it's not a good team. So I don't see a reason to try and summon for these characters when they're the only units that are going to come out for this force until literally next Christmas, to buff a team that is underpowered but also not a primary focus of most content nowadays. So Momiji, guaranteed pierce for everyone. fine. There's no power to it, though. It's just pierce rate for everyone, including the rear guard. And then alt resistance down by 100. And then that can increase to 180%, depending on how many times you get hit by an alt. So it is powerful. It has the capacity to be really powerful. But we have Elmisi, who's doing 100% down. We have the new awakened Isis that's doing 120 down. Like, this Momiji is very unnecessary. Her second skill is an orb change, full hand of oranges to full hand of blues. The same skill as Commander Shizu. I'm not in love with the skill because it's not flexible. Like, you can't change green orbs. I think that's one of the main reasons why I didn't like Primal Demon when it came out, because it had the orb change for Misery and the orb change for Diablo. And if you had like 2 oranges and a green, well, you had to use 2 skills for that instead of 1. I don't really like these straight across converts. Her trait is Protection Gauge every 3 turns, which is a good trait. It's not as good as turn 2, but it's still Protection Gauge. So if you happen to get dupes of her, then you get some extra Protection Gauge. Her Valor trait is useless. It nerfs oranges. Her being a support unit, I mean, she's Earth. That's cool. It's another Earth character. I don't think she really moves the needle at all. Pierce rate, inherently not strong. Alt resistance down. Yes, it's cool. But the ceiling on it is dependent on you taking alts, which, depending on your team build, you could either take like 2 alts and you're dead, or you could take a lot. It really just depends. And then I'm not a super big fan. It is a full hand convert, so if you do have like 5 green or 5 orange orbs and a blue, then yeah, you're set. But I've found myself not liking these orb changes as much as like the special converts or the more versatile ones. And then for Albus, she's got a new gimmick for at least us using it. She has the barrier gimmick. So first off, she gives Festive Memories extra damage to Earth, 100% at level 100, 25% attack and defense for physical. She has a passive reset for both the front and back line. So every time you use a skill, once a turn passes, that gets reset down by 10 points. So not a full reset, and definitely not a 0-cost reset like what Elmisia just did. But it allows you to use skills at lower cost pretty much every turn. It just, if you have to use them over and over again, they are going to get expensive. Her protection skill adds a barrier onto the front line. So this is like the barrier that previous beatdown battles had, where you had like the multi-hit skills to break like a 12-hit barrier or something like that. We're now being able to use a barrier. She gives 1 stack per use. So at most, in any turn, you could get 2 stacks of barrier from her. And then she's stacking 30% alt damage permanently, which is good. That's universal. It's good for everybody. And then she gives blue orbs a 300% extra skill point increase, which means that sending 6 blues will pretty much cap you out on any turn. So the barrier will protect you from any damage while it's active. But every time you get hit, you lose a stack. So if you have 2 stacks of barrier and you get hit 5 times, you will take damage 3 times, because the 2 hits will be absorbed and then the barrier will break, and then you're still going to take the full brunt of whatever 3 attacks come after it. So it's cool, and it can negate a lot of damage, but once it's gone, it's gone. And she is, I think, directly relatable to Prosper Maribel, who is another defense but stacking focus protector, where she stacks weakness strike, she gives you the 300% skill points on blues, she does the whole passive reset ability, and the thing that she does is she gives you guard and super guard, which, granted, does not protect you against alts, but you can get hit by normal attacks any number of times, and you will still always guard or super guard during that turn. So they do mostly the same things, slightly different buff, slightly different defensive mechanic. I actually kind of think I like Maribel's gimmick more, because at least you will remain protected, and there are ways to get around alt damage being put on you, versus Albus, where if you lose the barrier, you have nothing to protect you from anything. So it's kind of a wash. I don't think she's doing enough to really, again, raise the bar or change the direction of the needle into like, you need to summon for this Albus because she's the next coming of God. No, I don't think you need to summon on this banner. If you are a new character or a new player and you have the Divine General team, just focus your efforts on that. Keep raising them up, make new gear for them, become more familiar with the game, clear more events and stuff. You don't need to summon for this meta. If you're an older player and you're like, hey, I like Albus, I like Momiji, then choose waifu over meta and you do what you want. Do your 2 free ticket summons, use your Koban if you've got it. But I really don't advise people to summon on this banner. Okay, that's just straight up. I don't think they do enough to warrant summoning, especially coming off of the 3rd anniversary. I think people need to have a little bit of time to recoup their crystal stocks, and this is a very easy skippable banner. But that's it for me. Like, there's not much else to talk about. The banner units, I mean, are solid, so there's some bait there. The 6% drop rate, again, is more bait. But, again, I just don't think they do enough, personally. So we'll have to wait for the other 2 characters that are coming in this month that we already know who they are. We don't know what they do. But maybe stick around, see what they do, see if they move the needle at all. If they're really, really, really super good, better than these 2, I don't know. But we'll have to wait and see. I just cannot advise summoning on this banner right now. But if you did summon, let me know how your summons went in the comments below. But that's it from me, guys. Take it easy, and I'll see you all later.